Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cigar Chat, brought to you live on CigarFederation.com, broadcast around the world in the Armed Forces Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are out there in the world today. Spend some time with us. Robbie Raz here with you as always from Cigar Federation. We've got our conscious Canadian, John, the cigar surgeon, is sitting in for Logan today. John, how's everything going up there in Canada?
Pretty good, provided that I don't get hailed on or thunderstormed on or whatever. It'd be understatement to say I'm looking forward to New Orleans and I'm trying to do the conversion in my head, but 90 to 100 degree weather, some hurricanes. As Buffer says, let's get it on. I'm ready.
I don't know, man. It's like 97 degrees and a lot of humidity. I'm gonna melt. My hair is gonna be up like this. It's gonna be crazy. But
It's gonna be just all over the place.
It's just blow out. But that's no, it'll look good. I'm excited about that. That'll be fun to walk around like that. We've got no, it'll be fun. I'm excited. I am excited. I don't mean
privacy alone is exciting for us.
Okay, so let me introduce. We've got Rick Rodriguez from CAO Cigars joining us today. Rick, thanks for taking the time, man. Really do appreciate it.
You're welcome, bro.
So you're tuning in from kind of a fancy little pool area there.
Well, my backyard, the backyard.
That's enclosed? Your pool there is enclosed?
Oh yeah. So it was this, or where I really smoked is in the garage, but I didn't really want to show everybody my dirty garage, so we moved it to the back deck.
It's a good choice.
Right.
No, that looks like a comfortable spot. So we got a chance to meet Rick last year at IPCPR when we were talking about the CAO Amazon Basin. That was a big release from last year. I know we all enjoyed that. That was a really unique cigar. So we're looking forward to seeing what is coming out new from CAO this year, and we'll get into that in a minute. But as is kind of how we do things here on Cigar Chat, this is the first time we've had you on the show, so you have to tell us a little bit about your background in the industry. I know you've been around for a while, and you've been with General and CAO for a while as well. So give us some of your personal background and kind of where you came from and how you got into the industry.
You know what? I started with my grandfather and grandmother. They were born in Cuba. They came to the U.S. in 1954 to start to roll cigars in Tampa, because in 1953 was the first year that Tampa outproduced Cuban cigars from Tampa versus Cuba. So my grandfather was laid off from Spartacus, and so they moved to Tampa, and I was born and raised in Tampa. It skipped a generation. My dad never smoked a cigar. He was a cigarette smoker, and I picked it up about when I was maybe 20, 22 years old. Started smoking cigars like everybody. Don't know what I'm doing. Just just enjoyed getting around with friends, smoking cigars, and fast forward about 1998, I was approached by a gentleman called Dave Bullock, and he wanted to recruit me to go to work with him at Nestle's. And so at that time, I had a great job. I didn't want to sell candy bars. I was selling carpet. And so I said, Dave, thank you so much. About to pass. And I think 99, he went and started to work with General Cigar. He approached me again and says, I have the opportunity to hire you as a rep in Tampa if you want it. And I said, Dave, I love cigars. I would love to be a part of it. And that was the start. So I was a rep for about 4 years and doing a great job, loving the company, loving the industry. And all of a sudden, Mr. Coleman, the old owner of General Cigar, realized that we needed to prepare for the future, because a lot of our cigar masters are either retiring or leaving the company. And so for whatever reason, he chose me, and he brought me to New York. Great story. I thought when I was going to New York, I was going to be fired, because at that time, the only reason you, as a rep, you went to New York, HR loved to fire you in New York and send you home. And so all weekend I was saying, you know what, baby girl, I think these guys are going to fire me. I don't know why. Maybe I said something wrong. And he offered me a opportunity of my lifetime. He says, Ricky, your days of selling cigars for General Cigar are over, but I want to offer you a opportunity to train you to become a cigar blender if you want this opportunity. I couldn't say yes quick enough. And so it was, the turnaround was so quick. That was a Monday. On Wednesday, I was reporting to the factory. So, you know, at that time, I said, Mr. Coleman, I really need to go back and prepare for somebody to be hired and all that. So don't worry about it. We already hired your replacement. I said, really? Really? Sir, if I say no to this job, he says, that's easy. I'm going to just send you to HR. We're going to fire you today. I said, well, you know, I'll be in the DR on Wednesday. And that started the process of training to learn about tobacco, how we receive it through the back door and how we ship it through the front door and everything in between. So I spent about 6 months in the DR, and then after that they shipped me to Honduras. And I didn't really realize or understand why, if I just trained for 6 months in the DR about this processing, why do I need to go to Honduras? And he says, well, you'll realize that we do different things in different factories. That's the beauty of General Cigar. What they don't want is a cookie cutting operation. So what we do in the DR versus Honduras versus Nicaragua, it needs to stay separate. And so I trained in Honduras for 6 months. And after that, my true training came when I rode with Benji Menendez for 5 years. And he really taught me the art of how to take tobaccos and blend those tobaccos together. And I owe this gentleman my life because he really was a great teacher, helped me understand tobacco and how to blend tobaccos, how to create new cigars and all that. So it was fun. I mean, you know, the training in the factories is, you know, down to the first job, the first week, I had to sweep the factory floor. And so I questioned that. So why were we sweeping this floor so much? He says, that is money on the floor. Understand? But all the scraps that you know, fall off the table, we sweep them up and we sell them to machine guys. So they take all those scraps that we have nothing to do with or no need for, and they simply share for the machine guys. And so after that, I went to fermentation, processing, aging, rolling, cellaring, box making, everything that we have to do to create a cigar in that factory and to be able to ship that cigar out. But like I said, that taught me a lot about the factory, but the art of blending cigars and tobaccos really came from Benji, and I owe this gentleman a lot.
So when you're talking about you're doing everything from when the tobacco comes in the back door and how it goes out the front door and everything in between. From your learning experience, when you were down there and you're kind of getting your trial by fire, so to speak, what was the thing that caught you by surprise the most? What was, when you were down there, that you really had no concept of until you got down there and saw it happening? Exactly.
I think the thing that I was surprised about is how we take tobaccos that everybody's using. If you know, the secret behind the scenes is every manufacturer uses the same tobacco. We buy this tobacco for about 3 major growers. You know, we also grow some tobacco, but I think we purchase about 70% of our tobacco is from outside sources. And so that was shocking to me, that I thought all our tobacco was ours only. And so no, everybody's using this. So the fermentation process to me was exciting because I realized that point that this is the way that we take tobacco that everybody uses, and the way you ferment that tobacco and you age that tobacco, you can get different properties, different bodies, different flavors, and so we're all using the same tobacco. And when we're doing events, I say, you guys, if you don't understand that, picture 3 chefs together, and we give these chefs 3 chickens, and one guy said, bro, I'm a classic fried chicken guy, and I'm going to go to my restaurant and fry a chicken. The other guy said, bro, I roast my chicken. And the other guy said, I barbecue my chicken. We all have the same ingredients, but the different take on that chicken is going to give you different flavors, a different experience. So that was shocking to me that we can take these tobaccos that everybody's using, and we can create something unique and different from everybody else.
And now, of course, everyone in our audience is wanting some chicken tonight, so well done.
Well done. I try to break it down in terms that these guys can understand, because Benji taught me very early, Ricky, with your knowledge, you can do 2 or 3 things. You can talk down to these guys and, make them feel like stupid, or you can talk over these guys with all your information, or you can talk to these guys. And so I took the third one, and I just want to talk to these guys. So if I can break it down and help you understand what I'm trying to do with the tobacco and the way we're creating these new cigars, it's easier for these guys to understand. So everybody knows food, everybody cooks and all that, so it's easy for me to help these guys understand how do you do this, but you're using the same ingredients. And this is the way I try to help these guys understand.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, as you say, I really enjoy cooking, and I think, I don't know the first thing. I know a little tiny bit about tobacco blending, but yeah, it does seem to be like cooking, where you're talking about ingredients that have to be combined in a particular way, and there are many ways to do it badly and only a few ways to do it well. Mm-hmm. When we last talked to you at the IPCPR, of course, we were talking to you about the CAO Amazon basin, which got a lot of response in social media. In fact, up to and including today in the show, I was still seeing posts on Facebook, people talking about the CAO basin. We've got a good audience question here from Chris Bros, and he wants to know, well, he claims that a little birdie told him that you guys have an Amazon basin 2 in the works. Can you talk to that a little bit? Is that something that that is future release, or is that a hush-hush thing right now?
No. We plan on releasing that again. The problem with that tobacco, when we first found out about the tobacco and doing some research about that tobacco, we realized that the local Indians only grow that tobacco once every 3 years. And they have the capability to grow only about 5,000 to 7,000 pounds of tobacco. That's the reason the release was so small and so tight, and the reason that we created one size, so to spread out the love. But I can say this, that it's going to come back. What I can't say to you is the timing is going to come back. It's going to be the fall of 2016 or the spring of 2017. But because we realized very quickly, we knew we had something special, but we didn't know if the consumers or the cigar lovers out there would gravitate to this unique flavor, this blend of this tobacco. That I've smoked a lot of tobaccos, and I've never experienced the flavor that I've received from that tobacco. So definitely, we have it in the plans to launch it again. The same blend, the same tobacco. We're not going to tweak it. We're not going to do anything different because why mess with something that's working? And so we don't want to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is working for everybody.
I like that. That was a popular release, and that cigar caught me off guard when I smoked it. And there's been a lot of chatter about it, ever since. And it's a year later, and we're still talking about it. And in an industry that's moving the way that the cigar industry is moving nowadays, where it's new releases every day, it's pretty impressive to have something still be a topic of conversation a year later.
And stand out, and stand out. It
Exactly.
really is, you know. And what was a great story I'll share with everybody was when we launched the cigar, guys were saying, I don't know, I really don't know if these guys are going to, you know, enjoy the cigar. It's so different. It's so out there. So a lot of manufacturers was coming to me and saying to me that I want to see your new cigar. And so I pulled out the Colombian because I was so proud of the Colombian. No, we want to see the Amazon basin. Oh my God, really? So showed them, and they were so excited. And I think, you know, you want to smoke it? No, we just want to see the band. And they were saying to me, we've been in the business for years and years, never thought of making a band using cigar tobacco, and they were just taken by storm about that band. And so it's funny to see these guys smoke that cigar because they don't know to take it off or smoke through it. I say smoke through it. If you enjoy it, smoke through it. To me, it's a little bit bitter because if you know where that tobacco comes from, that is the trimming of the outer edge of the wrapper. And so we always trim the outer edge because we think it's a little bit bitter. So that is what we're using for that band. So, but it was exciting to us. Knowing General Cigar, if we can launch another 200,000 boxes, we would love that. But unfortunately, we're going to have the access to the same amount of tobacco. So maybe 6,000 to 5,000 boxes only again.
Okay. So we can look forward to that, what, in about a year and a half, you said?
I think.
So with, you know, we're talking about the Amazon basin. That was last year's big release at IPCPR. I better get used to saying that because we're going to do like 90 interviews when we're there, and I have to make sure. And last year I kept getting the year wrong. I kept saying last year was 2014. I kept saying 2013. So hopefully I don't do that this year. Anyway, Shooter wants to know. He wants some details on what's coming up this year. What are the new releases that are coming up this year? We already saw the CAO Honor, which was out for the 4th of July. Let's start there and talk about what else is coming out.
Well, the Honor came about, you know, we started doing these small batches when we first took over CEO. And so the talents that was given to me by Dan Carr, the president of General Cigar, when we took over, I remember having a meeting with him and in Richmond, and he said to me, you know, Ricky, now that we took over CEO, did you ever smoke in the past? I said, of course I did. I love that cigar. He said, what was your favorite cigar out of the batch? And I said, Brasilia. Brasilia to me was such a great cigar. And he says, my challenge to you is to create your own version of Brasilia. What do you mean? I'm not the cigar blender. You are. So you tell me what I mean. And so I took that concept, and what we did was tweak the blend, keeping the same wrapper, the same binder, and again, giving you such a, you know, the flavor you're accustomed to for the Brasilia, but a different take on that. And that was a huge success. And so we continued that. And so we did a Christmas themed cigar using gold and I think MX2. And then last year we continued that, and then this year I said, you know, guys, if we're going to launch something for the 4th of July, I need to do it my way, and I want to honor some people. Who do you want to honor? I said the military, because these guys, when they come to my event, the attention, the love, the gratitude that everybody has for these guys and these girls, it's just touching to me. I said, I want to create something that we can honor these guys with. And so last year, what are you going to do? I said, you know what? We're going to do a cigar called Honor. And it was an American flag as a wrapper. So the band is an American flag, and that it was a small way for us to thank these guys for their service. The guys are served in the past are currently serving us today. And so these ladies and the gentlemen that serve and allow us to do what we do, how do you thank these guys? And so I think this is the way that General Cigar and CEO wants to, thank these guys and give them a cigar that they can share with their friends around the world. So this represents my country.
Well, on that note, I want to remind everybody that you're listening to Cigar Chat, brought to you live on CigarFederation.com, broadcast around the world in the Armed Forces Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us a little bit today. We're here with Rick Rodriguez, the CAO Cigars. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and go ahead and like our videos. Those little thumb up buttons, just click that one time. Because we get some trolls. We get some trolls, and that's how you know you made it, when you start getting people who downvote everything.
Right.
When the haters start coming out, that's when you know that you're doing something right. So
just
I have those too, bro. I have those guys too, so don't worry about that. I have those too.
Good. That's good. So, okay, so the honor, that's a really cool concept, and I haven't smoked that cigar yet, and I think that's we're going to be doing some giveaways later in the show, and we'll be giving away some of those CAO honors. So some guys will be able to get their hands on those. So what can we look forward to? IPCPR is less than a week away.
One thing we're going to share with you at the show, we're going to share some funds for this cigar that we're going to set aside. And we selected a group of guys that are doing some great things with Wounded Warriors that's coming back. And I would love to say right now who these guys are, but we're going to save that for the show. We'll let you guys know automatically, and please spread the word, because this group, they're working with these veterans, are doing some great things. I think everybody, when they realize a portion of all the proceeds goes to these guys, they're just going to be buying handfuls, because this organization is just fantastic.
Now, is that some of the proceeds from the CAO honor are going back to Wounded Warriors? Very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, that's one thing that this industry, and this is really one of the only industry I can speak on, but does a good job of giving back, with the Wounded Warrior Project and Cigars for Warriors, things like that. A good way of showing some appreciation, that the best that we can. Like I say every week, they're soldiers and guys that were out there fighting for our freedoms. They're built to do something I'm not built to do, and I thank them for everything that they do for us every day. I come from a military family, actually. My father was in the military, and I think I've got 5 or 6 uncles, and I think they were all in the military, if memory serves correct. So, anyway,
rock crawls.
It
really is. And I shipped out a lot of cigars. Both myself and General Cigar does all the time. So if you approach me and say to me, I have a son, a daughter, a husband, a cousin out there, where do I send cigars to so you can get those cigars to these guys? If we can bring these guys 15 minutes to a half an hour of just relaxing and enjoying themselves for that hour, let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you want to get into some of the other releases that are coming out at IPCPR?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what else are you guys going to be dropping on us?
So we're going to do a version of the cigar that I'd like to talk about is Steel Horse. And Steel Horse came about with the launch of Flathead. And Flathead was such a huge hit for General Cigar. And so it caught everybody off guard. We knew we had something special. The presentation, the box, the cigar, it just was just the right timing for us to do something special like that. And it was a home run. So the only thing that, the only feedback that I was hearing from the customers and consumers and cigar lovers out there was, you're talking to the car guys and you're talking to the truck guys with that Flathead engine. Did you realize that Harley introduced a Flathead engine before Ford did? Didn't know that. I'm not a biker. And so doing some research, I found out they're right. And they had a bike, and so we're going to release a new cigar called Steel Horse, Flathead Steel Horse, 2 sizes. We're going to keep the flathead on the cigar, but this version is going to be a round cigar, not a box press cigar, and the blend is totally different. And so I think the combination of the blend, we're keeping the same wrapper, but I think by tweaking the blend and all that and adding a new binder and the new fillers, I think these guys are going to really enjoy it. The presentation of the boxes is just exciting for us. One of the flathead cigars that everybody loves is the spark plug. And at first, it's not because of the size of the blend, it was because of the packaging. If you see the spark plug, it is in a cardboard box, and we wanted it to look like when you purchase a spark plug, and the guys loved it. So I went back to Richmond, and we had a meeting, and so what's your new release? And I said, well, we're going to do Steel Horse, and I want the same packaging that we have for spark plug. Because if I was a biker, I would love a cigar that I can throw in my saddlebag or my breast pocket and don't worry about it's going to be damaged. And so I think it's going to be very cool for these guys, and looking forward to launching that cigar.
That's cool. Yeah, it's funny. As soon as you mentioned the spark plug, I have the Cigar Federation chat room open, and the guys are chiming in about. That was one of the things that drew them to the spark plug, was the packaging and the fact that it comes in a little box. And it's funny how we can get sucked in by stuff like that. And really, ultimately, you don't really care about the box; you care about the cigar. But the point that you're making there for somebody who's riding on their bike, and I'm not a biker either, but if I've got something that's in a box, I know it's going to be protected, semi-protected. It's not the same as like a tubo or something, but to have it in a box like that, I can throw it in my bag or my pocket, and it's not going to get jacked up. So that's cool. So the Steel Horse. So we'll look out for that one. And you said so it's going to have the same wrapper, but it's going to have a different blend.
Right, different priming on the wrapper too. So we're going to take it down a little bit. Our thought process is, to me, is some of the flatheads are so bold, so powerful that I didn't think that the bikers want to smoke a full body cigar and get up on their bike and ride home. So we're trying to take the body down, but not down enough that this is totally different. And so the body to me is a true medium body, where some of the flatheads can get to that medium to full body range. So I think the combination of using a lower priming, still giving the overall flavor that enjoy for the flathead line, and so I think it's going to work for us.
Very
and
cool.
It's going to be 2 sizes. We're going to launch 2 sizes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll look out for that one. John, you got some audience questions there you want to jump in with?
Yeah, we got no end of audience questions. So we were talking about new releases, but maybe dialing it back for a second, we've got an audience question. Tim MC71 wants to know, can you maybe give a little bit more details on some of the hidden treasures in the Area 9 bundles?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Area 9 came about when we took over CAO. There was a room set aside in the factory. When we visited this room, it was filled to the rims, floor to ceiling, with all these cigars. And we started to question, what are these cigars? And we were told what CAO used to do in the past was the first 2,000 to 3,000 cigars that they launched for any new product, they set those cigars aside for whatever promotion they wanted to run. Unfortunately, they never utilized those cigars, so those cigars would have been aging for anywhere from 20 years to up to 5 years. And so I can guarantee you, any cigar that if you receive a pack of the Area 9, you're going to realize that one of the cigar, if you find the CAO Gold, that was his first cigar they launched about 18, 19 years ago. So you'll know that cigar is 18 or 19 years old. So in that blend, you have the original La Traviata, you have the original America, the original Brasilia, the original Sopranos, Visions, everything. So we just want to bundle up, being General Cigar, we want to sell them. We didn't know how to present it. I said, why we're going to sell it? Let's just give it away. So when I'm doing events, those are some of the things that I give away. So the only way you can receive an Area 9 is to visit one of my tours or one of my events, and we're going to give you that away for a special occasion.
So beyond the obvious of attending an event to meet you, there's some Area 9 cigars available. So obviously our audience is going to be abuzz about that, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Of course, the talk this week, as we lead up very quickly to it, is the IPCPR. And Douglas Shepard wants to know what, for you personally, what do you get most excited about for the IPCPR? What gets you going for the show?
You know what? To tell you the truth, seeing everybody, seeing all the reps together, seeing everybody together. When you're in this business, it's amazing how connected you are. I've worked in many businesses that we don't share information a lot of times, but for some reason, when you're in the cigar business, there's a friendship that starts, and you're just talking to everybody over the phone, over the internet, and so to see everybody together, every manufacturer together, to be able to walk around the booth and hug everybody and try to peek over their shoulders and see what they're launching. Can I do that next year? And it's funny to see everybody together. But I really, to me, I look forward to not only launching a new product, but also seeing all my friends together. And that friends in my company and outside of this company, because at the end of the day, this is a small industry, and everybody, to me, are great guys. So I can definitely go to another manufacturer and share some stories with him and some blends with him, and he'll, share some, stories with me. So it's something I really look forward to. I don't look forward to the long days. And being excited every time that I have to talk about the new cigar, and because you know what, at the end of the day, they deserve that excitement from me. But after you say, Steel Horse blend, the sizes about 100 to 1,000 times, and the 1,001 guy comes to you and he wants to see it like you said the first time, that's something like, okay, but we get through it. I'm not digging ditches for a living, so cry for me, Argentina.
No, it makes for. I mean, John and I have talked about this. It makes for a long day, and we're on our feet. We're running around getting as many interviews as we can, and trying to get all the information for our readers and our followers and listeners. But you're right, man. You're on your feet all day, and that pressure to be on all the time. And if you're not in, and it's, again, we're not complaining, it's just if you're not in an industry where you don't have to do that, and there's a lot of industries where you don't, it can be a bit of a drain. And like you said, then when I'm doing that, it's that day, and this is the last interview, and we've done 60, that 61st interview. It's just sometimes you can, okay, hey, so what's going on new? You try. Right. But but like you say, everybody. I mean, we feel the same way. Everybody deserves the same amount of attention, from the guy who's got one cigar to to the guy who's got 50 or 60 and all the different brands, and we're spending an hour in their booths. So, but I mean, who are we kidding? It's a pretty good deal to be there.
It is. I think the dinners are worse for me, because you done with your day. You talking about everything and anything that possibly these guys want to know. And then you have a dinner, and the questions again start to come, and like, really, weren't you in my booth today? Yeah, but what was the reason? We're going to share something at dinner, a secret that we didn't share on the showroom floor. Oh, the reason is this. So it's funny.
Well, you never know. Somebody gets a few drinks in them, and they could start spilling all the secrets. Who knows? But
that is me, bro. That is me. So believe me, I have a handler right by me every time I have a drink.
Oh, that's a good tip. That's a good tip. Well, for just to put it in perspective, when you're out doing the dinners, John is back in the hotel room and he's cutting video, and we're writing up posts and editing photos and stuff. So, and everybody's working. We do get some time out to find the bar, and John and I will do that again this year for sure. But it's a lot of fun though. I mean, we talk about it like we're complaining. It's all tongue in cheek because we're both smiling while we're talking about it. It's going to be a blast. And outside of getting on the showroom floor and seeing people in person that I only really get to see in person once a year, or once or twice a year, I'm looking forward to the food. I've never been to New Orleans, and everybody says how great the food is, and I'm excited about that.
I think the food of Bourbon Street. What I notice about New Orleans versus Vegas, nobody to me wants to be working in Vegas. Your servers, they don't want to be there. But there's a hometown feeling that these guys give us when we visit that town. And they're so thankful that we're taking our time out of our busy schedule to allow them to show off their city. And that city knows how to party, and they know how to cook and eat. And so you're going to have a blast, but be careful on Bourbon Street. Be careful. And anything, John, bring a camera. So
I think we probably have the camera angle covered, so
yeah.
It'll just be a matter of whether I can hold my cigar, my drink, and my camera all at once.
That's going to be that's the problem, man, for sure. Let's jump in for another audience question here before we go to a break. Let's see. Okay, so this is a relevant question because we can see into your backyard. This is from Douglas Shepard. He wants to know. He says, "It looks like you're pretty serious about your barbecuing. You've got a couple barbecues in the background there." He says, "What's your specialty?"
Anything I can grill. I love to grill the meats and fish and all that, but for me, a steak, and just started to grill some hamburgers. I'm making my own hamburger meat, believe it or not, but those are good. But I love grilling. I have a great neighborhood, and it's about 6 to 7 houses that these guys are here every day. I think it's because of me, but my wife says it's not because of you. These guys don't buy any cigars. So as long as you're giving these guys free cigars, they love you. So, but we enjoy to get together with our friends, cook out, smoke cigars, have some drinks, and just shoot the breeze, because that is what cigars all about. Because cigars allow us to bring in people for different lives. And so if you're a doctor and I'm an attorney and I'm a cigar maker and we're at a bar, what do we have in common if these two guys don't smoke cigars? But when you get 3 cigar guys together, and one is a trash man, the other one is an attorney, and the other one is in insurance, they have this common bond called a cigar. What do you do? And all of a sudden, this conversations and this friendships grow from there. Is very exciting for us.
Cool. Yeah, we should remind you guys are listening to Cigar Chat, brought to you live on CigarFederation.com, broadcast around the world in the Armed Forces Radio Network. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're talking to Rick Rodriguez about everything that's new at CAO, but we're talking about a little bit of everything. Some barbecue, where's the best place to eat in New Orleans. John, be careful on Bourbon Street, all kinds of good stuff. Let's jump in. We got another question here. And we touched on this cigar a little bit while we were talking offline, and I bring it up just because there's a question about it. This one's from Chris Bros. He says, "I know this is a flavored cigar, but I'm still intrigued. This is the new Soul Fry.
Yeah.
He says, can you tell me anything about it? He says, I know that's a cinnamon and whiskey infused, but can you provide me with a little more experience than that?"
That cigar came about for, it's a funny story. We're in the show last year, and after the end of the show, typically all the marketing guys, all the reps, they get together and we do a shot. And typically, it was in the past we did a shot of tequila, and so somebody says, "How about a Fireball?"
Fireball.
Is that okay? Let's drink it. Wow, that is a bro. I'm not that guy, but that shot was fantastic. And Ed McKenna, the marketing director for CAO, said, "Bro, we need to do something with this flavor." And so we started to work on it, and the blend of the tobacco that we selected really worked with this cinnamon whiskey infused flavor, and it's just, I think, is going to be one of the best-selling cigars, flavor cigars that CAO launched in a long time. So we look forward to everybody enjoying that, because at the end of the day, what we're noticing, a lot of guys, true cigar guys, are gravitating to flavor cigars. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, to mention a flavor cigar to a cigar guy was, oh, no, I don't smoke those. That's for my wives or my children to smoke those. I don't smoke those. But they realize when they're out and with a group of people that don't really understand cigars, and they light up a flathead, the guy, really, you're going to smoke that? And so what they're gravitating to is flavor cigars, because when you light that cigar, everybody enjoys that aroma. It's like, I don't smoke a pipe, but I find myself, when I'm with a pipe guy, an aroma of that pipe tobacco reaches my nose. Well, that is extreme. Not enough for me to pick up a pipe and smoke it, but I can understand that. So I'm amazed of how many big, burly guys are buying flavor cigars. You're not that guy. Yeah, I am, because when I'm smoking with my wife in the back deck, I smoke that, and she enjoys the aroma. So as long as you understand the difference between some flavor cigars and what we do, we want to give you guys a true premium experience, meaning that we don't shortcut any tobaccos that we use in the blend. So we're going to use 100% premium tobacco. It's all long filler tobacco, and our philosophy, if we took that flavor out of that cigar, could we smoke that cigar? And the answer for CAO is definitely a yes. So we're just trying to enhance that flavor of the tobacco, utilizing some flavors.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Sorry, John, I cut you off there. You that's my fault. And you even mentioned, it's a different, it's almost a different feel over the last maybe year, 2 years, with cigar guys, like guys who watch our show and contribute on Cigar Federation, are even talking about flavored cigars or infused cigars. And even the way that this question was phrased is, I know this is a flavored cigar, but
Right.
But just hearing that, it seems like there's definitely more interest. And with this blend in particular, when you start talking about things like Fireball, guys like that stuff. So it's interesting. Now, one thing that you can use some Fireball for, if you like like a hard apple cider,
Right.
put in a shot of Fireball in there with a hard apple cider. It's really good to get like a cinnamon apple kind of flavor to it. Very, very tasty. But
Deal. We'll deal with that in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
Deal.
Yeah.
We have the first shot and the first drink together. It's going to be that.
Yeah, I'm in. I don't know if it's called anything, but it's pretty tasty. So definitely want to check that out.
You need to also give some credit to the guy that really brought flavors into the market to everybody to enjoy, and that is Jonathan. And when he launched Asset, that was so unique, so different, so out of the box. So we're just riding off of some of the success that he had, and he really opened the doors for a lot of people to say, flavor is one thing. Don't look at flavor cigars like I would never smoke them. Give them a chance, because I think the right size, the right blend, the right flavor that you can enjoy, you're going to find a cigar that maybe you don't smoke every day, but I guarantee you'll pick up one or two and say, I can enjoy this cigar and have a good time around people that typically don't smoke cigars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, Rick, I was on your website earlier today, and you guys have a really strong engagement with your customers. There's a lot of back and forth on the website, and one of our audience questions is around that. And Chris Bro said he was on the website. He noticed you guys have a section on new age, the new generation of cigars, and he's wondering if you can expand on that philosophy a little bit and maybe add some more detail for the audience.
You know, when we took over CEO, it was CEO Cigars. And Ed McKenna, again, the marketing director for the line, started, we need to maybe break down these cigars and put them in categories. So we have new age, we have classics, we have flavors, we have, innovations. So we're just trying to help the consumers or the fans gravitate to, if we release a new cigar, what does it fall under? The world blends. So world to us is America, Brasilia, Italian, and now Colombia. So we now have a target set for us that we can look at the board and say, Ricky, you released a world blend last year. We can't release another world blend, so where do you want to release? Oh, you know what? Let's go to new age, and we can, release that. So if you look at what we release and when we release it, it's a timing of trying to satisfy each category and give the attention to each of those categories every 2 or 3 years, that we can introduce something else to that category.
Perfect. Well, drawing it back a little bit to the IPCPR, one of the fun things for us, you mentioned earlier, is all the people we get to meet, and of course the manufacturers we get to talk to. And one of the characters that we enjoy talking to is Michael Giannini, and one of our audience members wants to know, Harley Holmes wants to know, what was it like working with Michael Giannini?
Oh, bro, what do you say? It is like working with a circus. You don't know what's going to come. Mr. Malchus guy, the clowns, but his love for this business is like nobody I've ever met. He lives tobacco 24/7, 300 days a year. He just loves it. And he has such a creative mind. When I started to blend cigars, when Ernesto left La Gloria, Ernesto handpicked me, Michael, and Yuri, the general manager of La Gloria, to form this team. So I had the privilege and the honor to work with Michael very close for about a year and a half, 2 years. And we did a launch called Series N. And we did this first Skype around the country. So we started in the East Coast and went to Central, went to the Midwest, went to the West. And we thought we were going to be able to get through this program in about 2 hours. And every time we went to the West, and we had a link in with all these cigar shops, and we started to light the cigar. And we lit and lit and lit. And I was looking at Michael and said, Mike, we're on a 15 cigar. And I said, and he said, we had a great time. We launched a Series N, and he knew something that I didn't know. And he looked at me and said, Ricky, I love you to death. And I said, bro, I love you like my brother. And he says, but bad news, you're fired. I said, bro, number one, you don't have the ability to fire me. He said, no, I had. You're fired. You're not a member of Team La Gloria anymore. And he says, but we're going to give you CAO. To hear that from Michael, to see the tears form in his eyes and my eyes, was a touching day, a touching moment, and I owe Michael so much. And so when you see a box or presentation, know that Michael has a fingerprint, a thumbprint on everything I do, because I realize that I need Michael for his input. I value his input. I value his palate. So everything I have to do, I run it through Michael, and if Michael gives you a thumbs up, it is like nothing you can ever, imagine. So Michael is a very dear friend for me, and we love to interact with each other, and to see each other perform together is like the Tom and Jerry, Harvey, all these classic friends. But hopefully one day we're going to do something together again, and so I look forward to that.
That's a really cool story. I know I'm sure, I think Harley Holmes asked that question. I'm sure he asked it, hoping that we would get kind of a funny story, because we've had Michael G on a few times, and he is quite a character. And spending a little bit of time with him at IPCPR last year was a lot of fun as well. But that's actually a really cool story that I didn't realize that he was the one who who fired you from
Yeah. But he knew it, and he was so happy. I didn't think I was ready to hear Michael talk to the company and said not only is he ready, he's going to do some great things with this line called CAO, and I don't think we can choose a better man for this company. And so, to me, from him, what do you say? Thank you so much for everything you did for me.
Yeah, very cool. Just a comment here. This one's from Jared Grillett. He's watching the sunset in the background with the palm trees, and he says that makes me realize how much I need a vacation. So
yeah. Come to Tampa.
Yeah,
it's a great cigar town. So come to Tampa.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. We've got a few minutes left here. We'll wrap up a couple of these audience questions. Here's one from Bob Dog, and it's a cigar and drink pairing. What are some of your favorite pairings with a couple of different CAO offerings?
You know what? To me, I'm a beer guy, so I love to match my cigars with certain beers and all that. But that is my palate. So the question that is asking me a bunch of times, what do you pair? What should I pair with? You know what? You to pair with what you want. Yeah. Because who am I to say the only cigar or the only beverage that you can pair that cigar with is this? That's the fun of smoking cigars. It's your palate. Enjoy what you want. If it's a glass of iced tea, a coffee, a beer, a bourbon, it's up to you. And so nobody can go to you and say you're wrong, because you're right for yourself and they're wrong for their self. So if you don't like what I pair my cigars with, pair with what you want. But to me, some of the fuller bodies to pair with some great beers that we're producing in Tampa right now, Maduro, for Cigar City Brewery. There's some great beers coming out of Tampa. So we get together and we share these beers and we try to pair up. But for me, a taste that we receive from that beer matches very well to me, especially in Tampa. I want to cool down, so beers is natural for me.
So, are you more of an IPA guy or more of a stout guy?
Stout. Yeah.
Good man. Good. Nothing wrong with IPAs. There's some great IPAs out there.
But they screw me up too fast.
Well, you can get some of those stout.
I want to say another word, but screwed up is good too.
No, that covers it. No, that's good. I appreciate that.
Oh, and I think we just lost Rob momentarily there.
All right.
But that's all right. We'll carry on. So we, of course, Rob was asking some of those questions because one of our side shows is we run Sharing Our Pairings, and I think pretty sure we've featured Cigar City Brewing on the show before.
Right.
That's a Tampa distillery. Brewery?
Yeah, it is in Tampa. It's they're doing some great things, and so they're growing, so fast, and so hopefully these guys are going to be able to keep up with demand and all that. But if you can get your hands on a couple of those beers, I guarantee you're going to enjoy those beers and all that.
Well, of course, from what I understand, and both of us are going to New Orleans for the first time, so we've got a a pretty tall order of food, and we've got a tall order of beverages. But as I understand, it sounds like you've been to New Orleans before.
Yeah, so we're, being, going there just a party, but we hosted now, I think, as far as this trade show, I've been there. This is going to be the fourth time,
Wow.
3 or 4 times that we have a show there. So, yeah, so it's, like the back of my hand. I know every small bar that we can creep in and hide from everybody else, and so we look forward to it because at the end of the day, like you said, you're tired. I don't want to go around somebody and they see me like, oh, I'm just dead. So we'll find that little hidden bar that the locals go to, and I will start to drink with the locals, and hopefully nobody notices me and Michael, and so we can enjoy ourselves.
So, I mean, with the IPCPR obviously going between Las Vegas and then alternating between different cities, it sounds like that's kind of a fun experience for you, is to go to New Orleans versus, Las Vegas, which, 3-4 years in a row, and then switching it up. It sounds like New Orleans is a nice way to switch up the pace there.
It is, and unfortunately, it's getting harder and harder to, find these, cities that we're able to host this event at. So it's going to go back to, I think, Vegas next year for 3 years in a row, and so I've missed the opportunity. Before I came aboard, they hosted the last one in Chicago. I was able to go to New Orleans, Vegas. I think we went to Houston one year, Tampa, Orlando. So I've missed that fact that we can't go to some cities that we know the city wants us, but because of the bans and all that, we can't just do it.
Sounds like we need to move it back to Florida again, I think, after the next 3-year stint.
You know what? I don't know why we haven't been back to Tampa, because, like I said, when somebody hears Tampa, for me, they all say, "Oh, Cigar City." They know this is the heart of cigar at one time. So hopefully, I'll cross my fingers. I can sleep at home, so that would be a plus. But I don't know if we're ever going to be able to come back to Tampa because of the smoking bans and all that. So it's just unfortunately, Cigar Dave talking when we're sleeping, the people are out there just trying to take away what we love to do. And so,
well, on that note, it's a bit of a downer, but we've got to wrap up our Armed Forces Radio segment. Rick, thanks for hanging out with us. Really do appreciate it. Sorry I got kicked off there at the end. Yep. Everybody that's tuning in the Armed Forces Radio Network, thank you so much for everything that you do. Really do appreciate you guys out there protecting us and fighting for our freedom around the world. Thanks so much. We'll be back in 2 weeks now, because we're going to be at IPCPR. So, Rick, we'll look for you next week at IPCPR, and we'll stop by and say hello, and we'll bring back some information to our followers. Thanks for taking the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was a great time, and for all of these guys out there doing their job, thank you. For the girls to the guys, thank you so much, because I do something I love to do, and without you guys fighting for my rights to do this, the next time you see me and you mention this show, believe me, I'll give you a cigar or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever you want from me.
Absolutely. On that note, everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. We'll be back next week. All right, and we're back. We're still live. Our Armed Forces Radio segment is done. I don't know what happened to my internet, but I got booted.
Google.
And, yeah, I blame Google. And we had a very clean show. So, Rick, thank you for that. You really wanted to say that.
Yeah, I did, bro.
Some of those IPAs will get you a little bit fucked up. You wanted to say that, but you held your tongue, and I really do appreciate it.
Oh, I love you guys.
But no, man, you're right. Some of those double IPAs.
Yeah, they can just rock your world.
Oh yeah.
I had one over last weekend that Harley Holmes, Steve is a member of Cigar Federation. He came up and checked out a Giants game and visited with my wife and I, and he brought me some beer, and it was an unfiltered IPA, and man, it was really good. And it was, I mean, the 22-ounce bottle, and I'm just sipping away, having a great time. And then I stood up and I was like, whoa. It was, and I looked, and it was, I think, 11.5%. I was having a great time, but it caught me by surprise for sure.
It's like the cigars. Sometimes the question is always, does a cigar kick your ass? And so, you know what? Sometimes it does. I've been smoking cigars for 30 years, so sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you drink too much, and I can handle this. Stand up. Where's the world? Where's the world? Because I'm not on solid ground right now.
So we've got some cigars to give away. Now I've been it was lengthwise. Thank you. That's from Harley's. It was the Zeus unfiltered IPA from Lengthwise Brewing, and that's in Southern California. I think it's in Bakersfield. That's where he lives. So it's a local brew. Really, really good beer. Really enjoyed it. And we actually used. They have some seasoned salts or seasoning for barbecue. We used that over the weekend as well. That was good on some burgers. Okay, so I picked some winners. I did a little thing on Instagram today. It was kind of just an impromptu thing. I didn't even really plan on doing it, but did a little giveaway on Instagram. So the Instagram winners, and I'll reach out to these guys directly. Hardly Clerkin, he's on Cigar Federation, but I don't think he's at the show tonight because it doesn't look like he's posted any questions. But he did get involved in that giveaway. And Nick Oford, who and I'm not familiar with Nick, but those are the two winners from Instagram, and I'll reach out to those guys directly. And I picked 3 winners here tonight. And John, if you want to chime in with a winner or two, based on the questions that they asked, Harley Holmes is a winner. He asked a question about Michael G, and we got a really good answer. Those are cool stories, so that's a winner. Tim C is a winner. He asked a couple of really good questions. Yep. And I picked a random winner as well, just because I didn't recognize his name. He didn't really ask any questions, but he was active in the chat room. Greg Dennis. So all the winners have to email rob@cigarfederation.com with CAO cigars in the subject line. In the body of the email, give me your name, mailing address, and I'll make sure that we get those shipped out to you. It'll be after IPCPR, so you guys will have to be a little bit patient, but we'll get those into your hands as quickly as we can. Also want to do something that we haven't done in a while is I want to pick a couple of AFRN listeners. So I want to pick 3 AFRN listeners. So I know when this is going to play on the Armed Forces Radio Network, so I want you guys to email me, rob@cigarfederation.com, with CAO, CigarChat, AFRN in the subject line, and tell me where you're stationed, and let me know how we can get these cigars to you. I'll pick 3 random winners, and we'll get those shipped out to you guys as well. So let's see, how many winners have I accounted for here? 3,
let's
6,
see, that's 6 plus
8.
2 on the Instagram, so I think that's 8 total.
8. So how many does that leave us with?
I don't know, how many we're picking?
3. Well, we've got 60 cigars to give away, so I think it leaves us with 3 more, right?
Well, I think for 3 randoms, we should pick Chris Bros because he was pretty active with the questions.
Okay.
We should pick another random chat member, a name I haven't seen a lot in chat, Isaac McLaughlin. I see him active in the chat, so he'd be a good pick. And then I don't know who to pick for the 3rd one.
We'll do a podcast listener.
There we go.
Perfect. And the podcast listeners, you guys know what you have to do. Email rob@cigarfederation.com with podcast in the subject line. All your information in the email. So if you guys won, you heard your name, you got to email me, and so I have your information. But I will reach out to the guys on Instagram because they may not be tuned in live. I think that takes care of all of that stuff. Rick, anything you wanted to talk about? It's getting dark over there, man.
Yeah, it is. But now, you know what? Just thank you for the opportunity because you're going to really help me out and get the word out. CEO, in the past, they were so worried about we're taking over and what we're going to do and do the cigars and all that. And one of the things that brings me joy is when today when somebody comes up and says, I'm really enjoying the Brasilia or the La Traviata today, and I don't stop until you realize it's the same blend. So General Cigar is not going to reinvent the wheel, and so it really brings me some joy to hear that the blends they're smoking today is the same blends that they were smoking 10 years ago, 8 years ago. We didn't do anything with that blend, so because Dan Carr didn't want me to touch anything like that. So be it good or bad, because everybody has different process, and so to see what they're doing, maybe we can't agree with it, but he says if you change it, you're going to change that cigar. So leave that process alone, and if you want to change something, change it on your new cigars. Don't worry about the old stuff. So we take pride in delivering today the same cigars that these guys were smoking in the past.
Cool. Very cool.
Now, I've smoked a ton of the Flatheads and a bunch of other CAOs, but tonight I was smoking the CAO Concert for the first time and really enjoyed it. In fact, what's interesting is the whole time I was thinking, boy, and I was drinking an IPA, but the whole time I was really wanting for a nice thick stout or really, really good rum. I think that would have been.
I can see that because that spiciness of that cigar. We learned from that cigar. So that cigar we learned a lot about. I think the only drawback for the cigar is truthfully, we're friends, is the presentation. The presentation didn't work. But when I reach out to somebody, given that cigar without the band, they love it. When I go to the humidor and show them that cigar, they say, well, yeah, no, it's not my style. It's more of a gimmick. They think it's a gimmick with the band looking like a guitar and the box looking like an amp. So they think we put more effort in the presentation in the cigar, and the cigar can stand alone. But yeah, so we learned from that. Everybody learned from something.
So I had a quick question. One CAO now this was, and I've looked it up, but this was a while ago, and it was very limited. The MX3. Is there any chance we'll ever see that again?
Well, MX3 is now part of a situation that we share some of the older cigars that maybe are not hitting the mark, but a shop or two really loves that cigar, really sells that cigar. So it's to me or to us, we're creating like a house blend for them. So we'll give that line to that certain guy, and we'll protect that guy. So maybe if we give that cigar to somebody in Phoenix, that shop is the only guy in Phoenix that has access to the cigar, and maybe we'll give somebody in Chicago that same cigar, but they don't interact with the same customer base. So that's the way that we do that sometimes.
So almost a regional exclusive.
Yeah, if you look at the line like Sopranos, we gave it to CI because we knew that we're done with that line, and so we had a bunch of cigars remaining, but the sales were dipping. So instead of a slow death, we said, you know what, CI, if you want them, you can have the remaining balance, and you can sell them exclusive through your internet sites and all that. So that was a hit for them. But we're going to bring back the Sopranos.
Really?
And so I think for us, getting to know the customer of CAO, he's a working class guy. He is not the guy that's seeking out the Davidoff or the high-end Fuentes and all that. So, but when you look at Sopranos, the price point doesn't match that blend. So if we just take out HBO, HBO receives $4 a cigar. So if I just take that presentation, name it the Mob, and don't relate it to Sopranos, what was $12 can be today $8. And that cigar to me was worth that $6 to $9 range, and not the $12 to $18 raise that they're trying to get for that because they had to pay HBO so much money.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, that's no. I really do appreciate you hanging out. You're sitting out there in the dark, so we're going to let you go.
Okay.
Guys, thanks so much for tuning in, supporting Cigar Federation. Really do appreciate it. Be on the lookout. We're going to have a ton of content. John's going to be working really, really hard.
It's going to be crazy, man.
I'm going to be hanging out at the bar, but John is going to be working his tail off, getting some videos and stuff posted, while Logan and I will just be down at the bar arguing about something. But no, we're all going to be working, actually. And we might even get Jared to come on camera. Who knows? Things get weird at IPCPR. But no, we're going to have daily updates. We're going to have a kind of a wrap-up video every day that we're going to do, probably do a morning video. We're going to update the posts as often as we can and keep you guys abreast of everything that's going on at IPCPR. So we're really excited about that. So you have to keep an eye open for all of that. Rick, thanks again. We will check you out in New Orleans, and we'll do some hard cider and Fireball. That's going to be.
I love that. Looking forward to that.
All right.
I prefer the first day, if anything. First day.
We'll have it for breakfast. We'll bring it in. For
something to talk about the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Bro, you are drunk.
Yeah.
Any stories that we can share with each other would be a great time.
Absolutely. It's great to hang out with you. John, thanks for sitting in for Logan. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, guys. Everybody have a great week, and we'll check in with you guys next week.
See you soon, guys. Take care.